The Diamond Weapon questline was one of my favorite questlines thus far because it expands on Gaius, who has quickly become one of the best characters in the game, and on top of that, we get to see the tightest spacesuits that Garlemald has to offer. We also get to shed some light on how Gaius has made an impact on the people across Garlemald, and what it's like for a war criminal to run an orphanage. When a person steps up to be leader, it's expected that they have compassion and a strong sense of right and wrong. We know he has the latter because he holds the any percent world record for the longest monologue in villain history. Even though this sense of right and wrong does get redirected just a little bit when all of his work toward the weapon project gets blown up by Hala Brea, but whatever. And as for the former, over the course of the weapon questline, we see more and more of the compassionate side of Gaius. His love for his subordinates, his country, and as we find later, his kids is something special. We even find out early on in the quest that he jumped in front of an attack for his subordinate. He not only jumped in the way just because he's a freaking pimp like that, but also because he was responsible for the technology that started the current weapon project when he created the Ultima weapon, and because he's such a good leader, he wants to take full accountability for that. Which was foolish for him, because he's about to find out why it's just like my mother always told me. Full accountability means daddy is couch nobility. Man, I miss the boobs of this game. For like almost a week now, I didn't have access to the boobs of this game, but I'm so glad it's back. Oh God, what is that? What is that? What the fuck? No, ew. Oh God, she's not hot anymore. Jesus, she is not hot anymore. What the? Get out of there. Get the fuck out of there. One of the things people like Gaius are good at is making themselves known nationwide for being such a standout person. In Gaius's case, he even takes this a step further and adopts a group of orphans to raise. The awkward thing is that he betrays the nation he made himself well known in, and that past as a homeless shelter has come back to bite him in the ass when it's revealed that one of his orphans that he adopted in the past is now dead. Oh shit. So was that one of the other kids? Yo, if that was one of the other kids, that's fucked. Fuck, it was one of the other kids. Fuck. Technically by our hands as the player. But remember what we said about accountability. Leaders take all of it, so of course we pawn it all off on Gaius. So really, if we look at it objectively, he killed her. Damn, Gaius. That's pretty cold. Speaking of cold, can we just talk about how Cid explains in excruciating detail that Gaius' daughter died a terrible death? Oh mate, I gotta tell you, she was in so much pain. It's like when you stub your pinky toe on the edge of a coffee table and you can't walk for the next 30 minutes? Yeah, something like that. Yes, thanks, Cid. And mate, she's got the worst case of ugly too, mate. I mean, damn, I would not hit it ever. Now onto the Sapphire weapon. In terms of character development, nothing much happens here, so I can't really commentate much before this. But there's a really cool sequence, and I really just want to make a copyright-free rock montage, so... We actually get to play it? Hey, alright, I'm out of here. I'm stealing this. I'm stealing this shit. That's the killer I know. Always with the joke ready. Wait, you're not joking, are you? After H2 owning the Sapphire weapon and only dying twice, we find out yet another one of his orphans are dead in the water. Gaius drowns in his sorrow for a bit, and then we get to hear a highly unexpected perspective on why Gaius is such an amazing leader from one of his subordinates. Now, you would think this would be a whimsical coming-of-age story where Vald tells us how his mom was sick and then the army he was in wouldn't give her medicine, so he later ran away and met Gaius and inevitably joined him. But no, that happened to Severa. What actually happened to Vald is that Gaius led his entire army into Vald's homeland, killed his whole family, then Vald spent the next 2 decades of his life seeking revenge, and when he finally had the opportunity to get revenge, Gaius not only talked him out of it, but got him to join his side. I'm seriously nicknaming Gaius to Chad Thundercock. Literally all he did was tell him, yo, I'm gonna kill the Ascians, you wanna join? Sure. And that was it. Crazy what an honest person can pull off just by watching a couple Killer Cape streams. Twitch.tv/Killer Cape. Also become a Discord member. Seriously. There's a downside to this, however. When you have such a giant lightning rod, you tend to attract a lot of heat, the hottest form being jealousy. And we all know jealousy makes us do some crazy shit. Like for example, making giant pilot killing mechs and loading the person you envy's combat data on it. Just an example. Wait, it did like no damage. Now, on the topic of jealousy, Valens is the frame-perfect image of what I see happening when someone like Gaius comes along and outperforms you. I would even make the claim that everything Valens does is based on Gaius. In order to demonstrate this, let's just go down the list of features between the two. For Gaius, we got Legatus, Weapon Project, Oprah Winfrey, Genius, Merit-Based Leadership, The Only Black Garlean. For Valens, we have Legatus, Weapon Project 2.0, Lolicon, thinks he's a genius, racist, not the only Black Garlean. So you can see how similar they are. Valens has constantly been on the hunt for more and more power ever since Gaius stole his position as the Legatus of the 14th Legion. And I think the reason for that is that Valens is chasing that bad feeling of losing. The feeling that someone else is better than you. He's chasing after it fervently, but sadly he'll never catch it. Because you can't undo the past, and you can't get ahead of the person you're following. The craziest thing about it is that Valens will live the rest of his existence in the shadow of Gaius, while Gaius would have remained completely unaware any of this happened to Valens if the writers hadn't decided they wanted Gaius to suffer. I wish I could say it was different for us in the real world, but when you look at it closer, very often our actions today are driven by the events and the people of our past, and it's definitely something we should all be aware of. Those people who have changed our lives, for better or worse, will never understand the profound impact that they had on us. Unless your name is Valens and you get snitched on for being a jealous boy by a twerp named, Allie. Speaking of Allie, I was going to leave the orphans mostly out of this script because obviously kids are going to follow their parents' example, but while rewatching the events, I thought it was worth mentioning how the kids have become many leaders of their own during their time separated from Gaius. They each took fate in their own hands and decided to become strong enough to lead those that couldn't fend for themselves out of the torture of Garlean rule. And they are exceedingly resilient to boot. No matter how much strife is between them and their goal, they stuck with it. both traits they got from their dad. But look what happens when you inherit traits like resilience and personal responsibility from a war criminal. You end up dead in the water. And while I will say from personal experience it sucks being dead, it's even worse to be a character like Valen filled with envy and hatred, both of which cloud his mind and make him do and say things that make others just not trust him. It creates an extremely demoralized group of subordinates that act out of fear and not out of respect. In reality, this inability to build rapport with your subordinates is usually what leads to an oh so deserved betrayal. I can do this fight in my sleep. This is easy mode. What is this tracking me at the moment? What is this that's on me right now? So, since I have no other way to conclude this video, I'm gonna do a reenactment of the events between Gaius and Valens after the diamond weapon crashed, and call it a day. Enjoy. Come out, vile fiend. What is up, bitch boy? Where is my baby boy? I'm here to pick him up from school. Put your mind to it, Gaius. He's right in front of you. I mean, right behind you, actually. Sorry, English is my second language. I'll make you eat those words. That line doesn't work here. I guess you're the one who needs an English lesson. Pause for dramatic effect. Hasta la vista, baby. Oh no, that line does work here. Ah! Bitch boy detected. I ain't no bitch boy. I'll make you eat those words. I guess that line kind of works here. Ah! Moral of the story, people with inflated egos eventually get popped.